Welcome back. This is Mr. Hassan's Maths channel. I'm now answering question number 4 from the October-November 2023 paper 5 variant 2 from the Cambridge 9709 syllabus. This is a paper which is statistics 1. And this is now question number 4. And we're asked here, or we're told here, about the heights in centimeters of the 11 players in each of 2 teams. So we have 11 players. Okay, in each of 2 teams, the aces and the jets as shown in the following table. So we have aces, the heights. Now, one thing that's important for us to make sure they're not in order. So we have to be very careful when we proceed. They're not in order of size. Okay, draw a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram to represent this information with the aces on the left-hand side of the diagram. So the aces on the left-hand side. All right, so as a stem and leaf diagram is a type of diagram which shows the distribution of the data. This is like discrete elements of data, and it helps us to keep the accuracy of the data, as well as give us an idea of the spread of the data visually, as we'll see. So basically, we want to do a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. Aces are going to be on the left-hand side. You're going to have aces on this side, and you're going to have jets on this side. And we're going to have a stem and leaf diagram. Now, a stem and leaf diagram is where you have one part which is the stem, the other part which is a leaf, and the number is broken down into parts. And now, the leaf part of the diagram must always be made of 1 digit per entry. Okay, so in this case, it seems like we have to have the hundreds and the tens as the stem, and the leaf will be the units. This side for the jets and this side for the aces. Okay, so it's going to be something like this. It's going to look like, so they're quite particular in Cambridge for you to show this quite neatly. So you should really use a ruler when you're doing what I'm doing. You're going to make a column, okay, like this. That column will represent your stem. Okay, the stems will be on this side, and the leaves will be on either side, because it's a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. So we can see that the lowest value we have is in the 160s in both sets of data, and the highest value is 190. So I'm going to put the stem as 1617. That's like 160 something, 170 something, 18 and 19. And then I'm going to put the numbers in order of size. So if we start with the jets on this side and the aces we put on that side, so 160. Okay, now we look for the lowest value that we can find. So right now it's 168, 166. That's the lowest we can find. So 166, so we put 166. And then the next value up is 168, it looks like. Okay, don't put commas between them. Don't put commas between these numbers. They should be left as they are without commas between them. No punctuation between them. That's clearly mentioned in the mark scheme. Only 1 digit per entry, okay, in the leaf part. Okay, then you have 168, that's done. 170 looks like the next one. Yeah, so 160 is all finished. So 170 will go down to the next row for 170. That's crossed out. The next 174, there's 2 of them. So we're going to put 4 and then another 4. That takes into account these 2. Now, that's 75, so we put 5 here as well. And then we finished the 70s. We're going to go into the 80s now. So we have 181 and 181. So you're going to have a 1 and a 1. Keep these in line with each other. So these are done. And then we have 188 and 188. So you have here 88. So these are done. And there's left now 190. So I'll put a 0 here. And for the aces, we're going to do the same thing, but in this direction. The lowest on this side and the highest on that side. So for the aces, the lowest we got is 164. I think that's the lowest, 164. So we put here 4. That's dealt with. Then we have 166, it looks like. So we put 6 here. And then we have 168. So we put 8 here. And 169. So we put 9 here. 9 here. That's all the 160s finished in order. Then we go to the 170s. So we see we have 171. So we're going to put 1 here. Cross that out. Then we got 173. 3 here. 174. 4 here. And we have 170. Those are the 70s finished. Now we've got 180s. We've got 180. 180. 181. It's 181 and 182. 182. And that's all of them now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 4 plus 3 plus 3. That's going to be 4 plus 6. That's 10. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's something missing. There's something missing. That's where we have to. That's always good for you to check. Let's have a look. We'll just check again for the. This is for the aces. So for the aces, we have 164. Okay, 166. Okay, we have 168. Okay, 169. All right, that's 4. And we got 171. 173. 174. Okay, then we got 180. 181. 182. There's 2 of them. So there's 1, 2 missing. 182 just at the end. Okay, that's good. So it's always good to count in case you did something like I did, right? So always count to make sure that you have written down all the numbers. So I made a quick count to see that there were 11 entries, and they were. And the other thing that's important for us to do is to write down a key for our diagram. Okay, so that when somebody looks at it, they know exactly what these mean. So we can put here underneath a key. So we write key, and we put down, for example, our stem. Say, for example, let's say 1, 6, 4, and we'll say, I'll choose an example that we got there. 1, 6, 4. 6 means 164 for the jets. And it means 166, and we're going to say centimeters for the aces. Okay, so that's the key. So you should always have the key written down, which tells the person reading exactly what everything stands for. Okay, so that's important for us to get right. Key, especially you should mention the unit, and you should show the key like this. All right, so now part B, it says find the median and interquartile range of the heights of the players in the aces. Okay, so we've got to look for the mean and the interquartile range in the aces. All right, now there's different methods that are used to find the quartiles and the mean, which, it's taught in different ways. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 different ways here in case you've taught, just depending on, in case, you've been taught in certain ways. So I'm going to show you how to do this in 2 different ways. All right, so the first way I'm going to do is the way that most of you would have learnt, most probably, and that is where you basically, you take the number of entries. So to find, for example, the mean, which is called Q2, the median, sorry, the Q2, to find the position, okay, we take the number of entries, we add 1 and we divide by 2. It's this entry, okay? And if the number comes out as a whole number, it's that number. If it comes out as a decimal, then you take that number and the one after it. Okay, so in this case, n is equal to 11. Okay, there's 11 entries. N is equal to 11. So you're going to have 11 plus 1, which is 12 divided by 2. So you say the 6th entry. Okay, and the other method of finding the median is to take n over 2. Okay, in this case, it's going to be 11 over 2, which is 5.5. Okay, 11 over 2, sorry, which is 5.5. Okay, so there's a 5.5th entry, so you round up to the next one. It comes out as a decimal, you round up to the next entry, so it's going to be the 6th entry. In this case, if it comes out as a whole number, you take that number. If it came out as a decimal, you would take that number and the other number. There would be 2 middle terms. But in this method, you take 11 divided by 2, just n over 2. If it comes out as a whole number, then you would take that number and the one after it. Okay, but if it comes out as a decimal, you round up to the next. And as you see, both of them give us the same entry, which is the 6th entry. So we can say Q2 is equal to the 6th entry. So if we count along for this, remember, we're going in this direction. Okay, right, in terms of the order. So we've got to look for the 6th entry. That's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. So it's 163 is the value of Q2. Don't forget the stem as well as the leaf. So it's 163. Okay, so Q2 is equal to 163. And to find Q1, in this method, you would have basically n plus 1 divided by 4. That's going to give you 12 divided by 4, which is the 3rd entry. All right, so we can say Q1 is going to be the 3rd entry. So we count along to find the 3rd entry. So you have 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 168. 168, remember looking at the aces. Okay, if we use this method, we'll do the same, similar kind of thing. Q1, which means a lower quartile, is n over 4, which would be 11 over 4, which gives you 2.75. Which if it comes out as a decimal, we always round up to the next number. That's going to be the 3rd entry. So Q1, sorry, is equal to 168. Okay, and to find the upper quartile, Q3, we're going to do, in this case, it'll be 3 times n plus 1 over 4, which is basically going to be the 9th entry. It's going to be the 9th entry. Okay, it's just 3 times this value over here. So Q3 is going to be, so we're going to count backwards from here. So the 9th entry, so this is the 11th entry. Okay, that's 11th, 10th, 9th. So it's going to be 181. 181. And using this method, Q3 will say 3n over 4, which is 3 times 2.75. Okay, which gives us what? 3 times 2.75. which gives you 8.25. So we're looking for the 9th entry, which of course is going to be the same thing that we got, 181. And we know the interquartile range is the upper quartile minus lower quartile. So in this case, we get the same answer in both methods. In there's certain cases where we might get slightly different answers in both methods, but they are all acceptable, right? This is what they normally teach in the Cambridge books and what I see in most of the older mark schemes. This is how they teach it more in Excel books. But I've seen in the more later mark schemes that they accept both of these methods. So they're both fine. Okay, I find this method a lot easier. Okay, especially when it comes to certain cases, but both of them are perfectly fine. So basically the interquartile range therefore is going to be Q3 minus Q1. So it's 181 minus 168, which is going to be 13. So the interquartile range is 13 and the mean is 163. Those are the two answers that they were looking for. Interquartile range and the mean. Okay, so the median, the median. So it's the median and the interquartile range. Okay, so remember the interquartile range is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. Then it says give one comment comparing the spread of the heights of the aces with the spread of the heights of the jets. So if we want to just comment upon the spread of the heights of the aces and the spread of the heights of the jets, so we're looking at about the spread of the heights. So we have to consider how spread out they are. And we can see from the diagram that the aces heights are less spread out from the jets. You can just see that visually from the diagram. And if we wanted to, we could work out the interquartile range for the aces if you want to. because we know they both are all for jets as well. We can work it out quite easy because we know that the two positions we're looking for are the third and the ninth position. So we can say the third position is 170 and the ninth position, 11, 10, 9, is 188. So we can say 188 minus 170. So the interquartile range for the jets is 100 and, as we said, 1, 2, 3, that's 188 minus 170, which is equal to 18. So the interquartile range for the jets is greater. Interquartile range for the jets is, let's do it the way they put it. For the aces, is greater than the interquartile range for the jets. So therefore we can say that we should put it in the context of the question. So we should talk about the heights of the players. So we can say the heights of the players in the aces team is less varied than those in the jets team. Okay, it's less spread out because you can see that the interquartile range is less, and you can even see it from the diagram itself. So you should always put in context of the question. Talk about the heights of the players. Something for us to do. And that concludes this question. This is more like an IGCSE type of question, to be honest. It's pretty straightforward, but maybe just takes a little while for you to draw the diagram. All right, it has to be done neatly, not in a rush, and everything should be in order, as we mentioned. Okay, so that concludes this question number 4. And other questions from this paper can be found in the playlist over here at the end of this video. Other questions from the topic of basically analyzing data, you can find that in the playlist that will be in the bottom right of the corner, bottom right of the screen at the end of the video. That's like data display and analysis. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking on this link, and the link up here will take you to a video which tells you how to use my channel to find things that you might be looking for. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.